Hello all, Fix-It Dad here. So this is episode 3 of my series of getting ready for the active target live sonar from Lowrance. Today I will be today I will be rewiring or rerunning the wires for all of the graphs that are on the boat. The way it was set up originally, I believe that the individual power lines are possibly fused like under the deck or in the rear holding area, and I'm going to add a fuse block with manually resettable circuit breakers and run power directly from each one of those. And I will also be running the wake up wire to all of the devices, so that when I turn on the main graph at the back, it will turn on the graphs and all the accessories all over the boat. Well, I figure the easiest way to show you what I'm doing is with the hat cam, so that you can follow along with me. So the first thing I need to do is remove this unit from the bracket. And disconnect all the wires from the back of it. I have to remove this panel, which I'm going to be replacing this with a new panel that I CNC. Once we have this pulled loose, there are 2 screws right here that hold the trim on. And we can lift this whole thing up out of the way. pull off the expandable wire loom, and then see if we can separate out these wires. Okay. This wire is the one that goes to the transducer on the trolling motor, so that one will stay here. Here's our power wire. Which those of you familiar with Lowrance will know that this wire is a 2-in-1. It also has a old serial connection that is really not used much anymore. Now we can see right here that we have a fuse holder that is not hooked up to anything, which is kind of odd. And we have the power coming here through the wiring harness of the boat. And here we have the network connection for the trolling motor. See if I can neaten this up a little bit here. So really the only wire that I have going back to the back of the boat from this unit is this network cable, which I shouldn't have to rerun. Alright then, let's move toward the back. This is going to get a little more interesting. Because I'm going to have to crawl down and get underneath this dash as well. Well, so what I did here is I pulled out this little glove box and pulled all the wires out of the holes except for the network cable that runs to the front. And now I'm going to go to the back and start pulling the cables back that direction. Now, one of the things that I want to do is get a piece of string to tie onto these cables to pull back with it, so that when I'm ready to pull back this direction, I won't have to fish the wires. One of the things that I'm doing is replacing the battery switch that's on the boat. The one that was here is a Perco 1-2 all switch, and it's pretty common to see these out there. But what I don't like about them is they're just 3 posts. So you have both of your batteries connected, but on the outbound side, it's going to all to the same post. Now the Blue Sea system switch that I have here is a dual circuit. So you have your starting battery hooked up here, it only goes to the motor. And then your house battery only goes to the house circuits and everything. But it also has a setting, combined batteries, which if you are having problems starting, you've got a weak starting battery, you can combine the batteries to give you that little extra boost. So I've taken out the old Perco switch, and I've got quite a mass of wires back here that I'm going to have to sort out. Because none of it's labeled and it's kind of a mess. You'll see what I'm talking about. So you can see right here this huge mass of wires that were attached to the Perco switch that I'm going to have to trace and figure out which all of them are. Really, I think the only thing that I'll have hooked up to the starting battery is going to be the motor itself. Ideally, you only have 2 wires going to each battery post. One is from the switch, and to the ground, and the other one is to the charging, the onboard charger. Everything else should be on bus bars. So that there's like only a single connection on the batteries. It makes it a lot easier to change the battery out. Well, after I figured out everything that I needed to finish the electrical wiring here in the back, I jumped up and ran into town to try and get all the parts. And would you believe that nobody down here has a negative bus bar for me to pick up? So I'm gonna have to order some parts, and we'll have to make the rewiring have a part 2. So we'll see you on part 2.